Here are 101 facts about Jeep that you probably don't know unless you're one of those Jeep owners who wave at each other like you're in some exclusive cult. Number 1. Jeep's first Easter egg was designed by Michael Santoro in 1997. He secretly added a 7-slot grille pattern to the Wrangler's cowl because he wanted his signature on every vehicle. Yep, the dude literally branded cars with his personal touch without telling anyone. It's like if Picasso secretly painted tiny blue faces on the back of all his canvases. Designer flex level, immortal. Number 2, the flip-flops molded into some Wrangler cowls are a tribute to automotive journalist Rick Pugh, not just some random summer vibe. The company literally immortalized a guy's footwear in metal, because nothing says, "We respect your automotive journalism," like eternally embedding your beach sandals into thousands of vehicles. That's a level of recognition most writers only dream about while crying into their rejection emails. Number 3. Ford's GP designation never stood for general purpose. The G meant government contract, and P indicated an 80-inch wheelbase. That's right, the most iconic off-road vehicle in history was named after a bureaucratic code and a measurement. It's like naming your firstborn child Tax Form 36 inches. Military procurement has never been known for its poetry, but this takes it to another level. Number 4. The name Jeep might come from Eugene the Jeep, a magical dog in Popeye comics who could walk through walls and solve impossible problems. Soldiers thought their vehicles had similar supernatural abilities. Imagine naming a military vehicle after a cartoon character that eats orchids and says Jeep as its only word. That's like calling a modern tank SpongeBob, because it works underwater and survives explosions. Number 5. Willys actually changed their grille from 9 slots to 7 after the war, just to avoid Ford's patent. That iconic 7-slot design was born from legal dodging. Corporate pettiness literally created the most recognizable automotive face in America. It's the vehicular equivalent of growing a beard after a breakup. You can't have our design. Fine, we'll remove 2 slots and make it more iconic. Number 6. Only 3 companies responded to the Army's 1940 request for a reconnaissance vehicle out of 135 automakers contacted. Apparently, 132 companies thought building a military truck was a bad idea during an actual world war, when the government was desperately throwing money at anyone who could help. That's like turning down free pizza because you don't like the delivery guy's hat. Number 7. Ford built 50 Jeeps with 4-wheel steering during WUQs. Only 4 survived, making them rarer than most supercars. These things could literally turn in their own footprint, pivoting like a tank without tracks. Imagine parallel parking with the precision of a ballerina, but in the middle of a battlefield. War technology was basically, let's make this Jeep dance sideways while people were getting shot at. Number 8. Some Jeep models hide a tiny Sasquatch on the rear windshield, because apparently Bigfoot needs a ride too. The company actually pays engineers to design and implement little cryptid Easter eggs for owners to discover years later. It's like automotive. Where's Waldo? But instead of a guy in a striped shirt, you're looking for mythical creatures hiding in your $40,000 purchase. Number 9. The orange paintball splatter on some Jeep tachometers comes from an actual company paintball match. The VP of Interior Design's goggles looked exactly like that afterward. Imagine getting shot in the face at work, and your response is, "This needs to be immortalized in our vehicles forever." That's turning workplace violence into art. Most companies just put your birthday on the break room calendar. Number 10. Jeep hides Morse code spelling sand, snow, rivers, rocks next to the brake pedal. It's like a secret off-road mantra for your foot. Some engineer spent actual paid hours encoding a terrain list that 99.9% of owners will never decode. Meanwhile, your Camry just has a boring rubber pedal with no hidden messages. It's vehicular secret society stuff for people who pay extra for mud flaps. Number 11. The spider on the Renegade's gas cap says "Ciao baby" in Italian. Apparently, even arachnids are multilingual at Jeep. They hired someone to draw a cartoon spider, gave it a catchphrase, and then molded it into plastic thousands of times. That's not even an Easter egg anymore. That's just a weird flex. Most cars give you a gas cap. Jeep gives you an Italian-speaking spider guarding your fuel. Number 12. A gecko hides under windshield wipers on some models as a nod to superior grip. Because reptiles know traction. Some designer was sitting in a meeting about windshield wipers and thought, you know what this needs? A lizard. And no one stopped him. They gave him a raise. Most car companies worry about aerodynamics and fuel efficiency. Jeep's over here putting tiny lizards under components. Number 13. The T-Rex skull on floor mats represents durability and reliability. Because nothing says tough like something that survived 65 million years. Except, wait, T-Rexes didn't survive. They're famously extinct, which makes this either the most ironic or most honest automotive metaphor ever. Our vehicles are as durable as a species completely wiped out by a meteor. Bold choice. Number 14. The Loch Ness Monster appears on some compass rear windows because they can ford 19 inches of water. Legendary creatures need legendary water crossing ability. Imagine the meeting where someone pitched putting a cryptid on a window because the car can handle a puddle. It can go through 1.5 feet of water. So, like a very shallow kiddie pool? Release the Nessie. Number 15. Map coordinates for Moab. Utah are carved into various hidden spots. It's like GPS for the spiritually off-road. Jeep literally engraves directions to the off-road promised land inside their vehicles. It's the automotive equivalent of a cult tattoo. You've purchased our vehicle. Now, here's where the mothership will pick us all up when the time comes. Most brands just give you a warranty. Number 16. The number 419 is etched into gladiator beds, referencing the zip code of Jeep's Toledo, Ohio plant. Hometown pride runs deep. They're literally branding postal codes into their trucks. Imagine being so proud of Toledo that you permanently engrave its mail routing number into a $40,000 vehicle. That's like tattooing your apartment number on your forehead. Commitment. Number 17. Some models can have up to 30 Easter eggs. Finding them all could take longer than your loan payments. Jeep turned their vehicles into automotive escape rooms where the prize is knowing where all the hidden logos are. Most people just want reliable transportation. Jeep owners are crawling under their dashboards with flashlights looking for tiny dinosaurs. Different priorities. Number 18. J.D. Salinger carried a portable typewriter in his W2 Jeep to work on stories. The Catcher in the Rye was literally born from Jeep adventures. One of the most influential books in American literature was partially written in a bouncing military vehicle during actual combat. Your creative writing degree seems a little less impressive now. Holden Caulfield was conceived while dodging bullets in a Willys MB. Number 19. Ronald Reagan's blue CJ-8 Scrambler had the license plate Gipper, the same Jeep he used to show Mikhail Gorbachev around his ranch. Imagine the Cold War essentially ending while two world leaders bounced around in a Jeep with a football nickname as its license plate. That's like negotiating nuclear disarmament while wearing matching Mickey Mouse ears. Diplomacy was different in the 80s. Number 20. Reagan's presidential Jeep is now on display in a Santa Barbara museum. You can literally visit the leader of the free world's ride. This Jeep went from hauling the President of the United States to sitting in a climate-controlled box for tourists to gawk at. It's the automotive equivalent of retiring to Florida, except with more school field trips and less golf. Number 21. The Grand Cherokee failed Sweden's moose test in 2012. Apparently, Swedish moose are tougher critics than American consumers. The vehicle literally almost rolled over, trying to avoid a simulated 1,000-pound forest creature. Jeep engineers conquered the Rubicon Trail, but were defeated by a Scandinavian safety test involving a pretend woodland mammal. Nature. 1. Technology. 0. Number 22. The Trackhawk's 707 horsepower makes it faster than most Porsches, yet it can still tow 7,200 pounds and haul groceries. Jeep built a family SUV that can outrun sports cars while towing a boat. It's like if your minivan mom suddenly revealed she was an Olympic sprinter who could also deadlift 600 pounds. It's a soccer practice vehicle that happens to have supercar acceleration. Number 23. Snow mode on the Trackhawk cuts several hundred horsepower, because 707 horses in a blizzard is apparently too much fun. Jeep literally had to program their SUV to be slower so owners wouldn't immediately crash into snowbanks at supersonic speeds. Imagine building something so powerful, you had to include a "please don't kill yourself" button. That's engineering foresight. Number 24. The Trackhawk has launch control operated by a button that looks like drag strip Christmas tree lights. Because subtlety is overrated, Jeep put a literal drag racing starter system in a family SUV. That's like installing a nitrous button on your vacuum cleaner. When you absolutely need to get the kids to soccer practice in under 3 seconds, while their faces distort from G-forces. Number 25. The infamous death wobble first appeared in 1995. Some problems are generational. This steering wheel vibration has survived through 5 presidential administrations. It's the cockroach of automotive issues. Most manufacturers fix design flaws. Jeep just rebrands them as heritage features and passes them down like family heirlooms. Son, this terrifying shake at highway speeds was your grandfather's too. Number 26. Despite its terrifying name, the death wobble has never actually killed anyone, but it scared the hell out of 192,000 owners. Imagine naming a non-lethal mechanical issue after the Grim Reaper. That's like calling a paper cut a finger devastator. Jeep owners experiencing violent steering vibrations. At least it's not living up to its full marketing potential. Number 27. Jeep's fix for death wobble was often just replacing the steering damper, which is like putting a band-aid on a broken leg. Their solution to a terrifying highway speed vibration was basically, here's a new shock absorber, good luck. Most car companies issue recalls. Jeep issues shrugs. Somehow, their customer loyalty remains unshaken, unlike their steering columns. Number 28. The 2012 Wrangler holds the record with 9 recalls, proving that sometimes trying harder makes things worse. That's 1 recall every 40 days of its first year. Imagine if your phone needed to be sent back to Apple 9 times. Most vehicles aim for 0 defects. This Jeep was apparently built with a "we'll fix it in post-production" philosophy. Number 29. Some 2018 Wranglers had improperly welded steering shafts that could split. Because apparently even the steering wheel wanted to quit, Jeep literally built vehicles where the thing you use to control direction could separate while driving. Most manufacturers worry about cup holders. Jeep's over here with "will the steering wheel stay connected?" as an open question. Number 30. The Jurassic Park Jeep was a 1992 Wrangler YJ Sahara, proving that even dinosaurs couldn't kill a Jeep. The most iconic movie vehicle survival scenario featured a Jeep outrunning a T-Rex. Not a supercar, not a tank. A Jeep with a canvas roof. When Hollywood needed a vehicle that could believably escape prehistoric apex predators, they chose a Wrangler. Speaking of iconic movie appearances, number 31. Back to the Future featured a CJ7 in 1985 and predicted flying Wranglers by 2015. We're still waiting for that software update. Hollywood thought we'd have hover Jeeps before we'd have smartphones. They believed in flying off-road vehicles more than they believed in digital cameras. And somehow, the regular earthbound Wrangler still looks almost identical 40 years later. Number 32. Daisy Duke's Jeep in The Dukes of Hazzard was nicknamed Dixie. Though most viewers were focused on other things, let's be honest, nobody was watching that show for the vehicles. The Jeep was practically invisible next to Catherine Bach in denim shorts. It's probably the most famous Jeep that nobody actually remembers, overshadowed by its driver's, charisma. Number 33. The Grand Cherokee has appeared in entertainment 1,123 times. More screen time than most actors. This SUV has a longer filmography than Meryl Streep. It's been in more productions than Samuel L. Jackson. Jeep doesn't need to pay for product placement, Hollywood calls them. It's the vehicular equivalent of being famous for being famous. Number 34. Floyd Mayweather spent $120,000 customizing his Wrangler with alligator skin upholstery. Because regular leather is for peasants, he literally wrapped the interior of an off-road vehicle with exotic reptile hide. That's like wearing a tuxedo to a mud wrestling competition. Nothing says, "I make poor financial decisions," like putting swamp animal skin in a vehicle designed to get dirty. Number 35. Kevin Hart nicknamed his custom Wrangler Beast, proving that size doesn't matter in vehicle naming. A 5'4" comedian called his vehicle a beast. The car is literally taller than he is. That's like me naming my cat Godzilla. Overcompensation comes in all forms, but at least Hart can actually climb into his Jeep without a stepladder, unlike most owners. Number 36. Amber Rose had her Wrangler wrapped in chrome pink, because subtlety is apparently extinct. She turned an off-road, military-inspired vehicle into a reflective Barbie accessory. It's like putting camouflage on a disco ball. The vehicle, designed to blend into battlefields, was transformed into something visible from the International Space Station. Number 37. Jay-Z and Beyoncé own a surprisingly stock white Wrangler. Sometimes even billionaires keep it simple. The couple, worth over $1 billion, drives the same Jeep as the assistant manager at your local Target. They could literally buy the company that makes Jeeps, but instead, they just bought a Jeep. When your garage already has Bugattis, maybe you appreciate basic transportation. Number 38. Ralph Lauren owns a 1976 CJJ and says Jeep has the same sensibility as jeans with polo players. Apparently, fashion runs on 4 wheels. A billionaire fashion designer comparing his luxury brand to a military vehicle is peak rich people logic. Only someone selling $90 t-shirts could find philosophical common ground between polo shirts and mud tires. Number 39. The word Jeep was used by military mechanics for test vehicles long before WW2. They were basically beta testing the name. Soldiers called experimental vehicles Jeeps years before the actual Jeep existed. That's like calling all smartphones iPhones before Apple was even founded. The name was pre-famous before the thing it described even existed. Talk about marketing foresight. Number 40. Willys didn't trademark Jeep until 1950. They spent a decade using quotation marks around their own brand name. Imagine Nike selling "Just Do It" shoes for 10 years before bothering to claim the slogan. They built an entire brand identity and just didn't legally protect it. The company selling indestructible off-road vehicles couldn't file paperwork on time. Number 41. A reporter first called it a Jeep in print after Willys drove one up the Capitol building steps. Because nothing says press conference like property damage. They literally drove a vehicle up the stairs of a national monument for publicity. Modern PR teams send emails. 1940s PR teams committed what would now be considered domestic terrorism. Different era, different marketing tactics. Number 42. Minneapolis Moline made a small tractor called Jeep in 1937. The name had agricultural roots before military ones. The most iconic American off-road brand was accidentally named after a tractor. That's like discovering Ferrari was named after a pasta shape. The vehicle, synonymous with freedom and adventure, was christened with a hand-me-down name from farm equipment. Number 43. Ford and Willys produced about 640,000 Jeeps during WW2. That's roughly 1 Jeep for every 2 minutes of the war. They were cranking out military vehicles faster than your local Starbucks makes lattes. While most factories were retooling, these companies had already figured out how to mass-produce 4-wheel drive on an industrial scale. Greatest generation? More like greatest production. Number 44. Jeeps made up 18% of all wheeled military vehicles produced during WW2. Apparently, wheels were important back then. Nearly 1 in 5 military vehicles was a Jeep. That's like if the modern military decided Priuses were the key to national defense. These little open-top cars with fabric doors somehow became the backbone of the largest military campaign in human history. Number 45. The average Army infantry regiment got 145 Jeeps. Because walking was so last century, the military basically said, everyone gets a car, decades before Oprah made it cool. They handed out Jeeps like participation trophies. You're in the Army. Here's your rifle, your boots, and enough Jeeps to start a rental company. Number 46. Jeeps could run on railway tracks with the right wheels. They were literally off-road and on-rail vehicles. Someone looked at a car and a train and thought, why not both? These things could drive on roads, mud, beaches, and actual railroad tracks. Meanwhile, your crossover SUV gets confused when it rains. They weren't building vehicles. They were building actual transformers. Number 47. The amphibious Sea Jeep wasn't good at being a boat or a car. Proving that compromised vehicles compromise everything, they literally tried to make a Jeep that could swim. It was terrible at both driving and floating, but technically did both. It's like a spork. Not quite a spoon, not quite a fork, and nobody's first choice for either job. Number 48. Early Ford Jeeps had every component marked with an F, including individual bolt heads. Ford was so paranoid about getting credit, they stamped their initial on parts smaller than a fingernail. That's like signing your name on every sprinkle of a cupcake you baked. The pettiest flex in automotive history, brought to you by the letter F. Number 49. Ford and Willys. Parts were interchangeable, leading to composite Jeeps with mixed parentage. The first automotive blended families. These manufacturers were competing while inadvertently creating perfect compatibility. It's like if iPhone and Samsung parts worked in each other's phones. Soldiers didn't care about brand loyalty. They just grabbed whatever parts weren't exploded. Number 50. The original Willys prototype was called the Quad, after its 4x4 system. Apparently, marketing was simpler in 1940. They literally named it after its drivetrain configuration. That's like calling your phone Screen or your microwave Heatbox. No focus groups, no brand consultants, just it has four-wheel drive, so Quad. Sometimes simpler is better. Halfway there, and things are about to get even weirder. Number 51. Willys completed their prototype in just 75 days, which puts your delayed home renovation in perspective. They designed and built an entirely new type of vehicle in less time than most people take to decide on kitchen cabinets. The entire future of off-roading was created in less than 3 months. Your contractor has been almost finished with your bathroom for longer than that. Number 52. Only 2 Willys Quad prototypes were ever made, making them rarer than unicorns. The vehicle that would eventually spawn millions of Jeeps started with just 2 examples. That's like finding out there were only 2 original iPhones before Apple took over the world. If you found one today, it would be worth more than most houses. Automotive history in raw metal form. Number 53. The Willys MB is the rarest pre-production Jeep with only 30 known survivors. Collectors fight over these like Supreme Court justices. There are more people who have walked on the moon than there are surviving Willys MBs. These things are so rare, they make Bugattis look mass-produced. Most car collectors want Ferraris. True lunatics want military prototype Jeeps. Number 54. Horses and motorcycles became obsolete almost immediately after the MB arrived. The 4-legged and 2-wheeled casualties of war. The Jeep literally replaced animals in military service. Entire cavalry units saw this little box on wheels and said, "We're out of a job." It's like when calculators made slide rules obsolete, but for transportation, that poops. Number 55. MBs could be fitted with machine guns, used as ambulances, or modified for snow plowing. The Swiss Army knife of vehicles. This single platform could kill people, save people, or just move snow. The most versatile vehicle in military history was basically a metal box with wheels. Your crossover SUV has 19 cup holders, but can't mount a 50 caliber machine gun. Progress? Number 56. Jeeps were small enough to fit in W-Dowie gliders for D-Day. Because paratroopers needed their rides too. They literally designed aircraft to drop these things behind enemy lines. Imagine being a German soldier, watching tiny planes silently glide in, then disgorge angry Americans in tiny cars with guns. It's like a murderous clown car deployment system. Number 57. The Jeepster was intended as a low-priced American sports car, but cost $1,900, which was fabulously expensive in the 1940s. They tried to make an affordable sports car that cost about 2 years' salary for the average American. That's like calling a $100,000 car budget-friendly today. The company that made military vehicles apparently had no idea what civilians could afford. Number 58. The Jeepster was the last Phaeton-style vehicle made by a U.S. automaker, because apparently open-air motoring died with the 1940s. This car was literally the last of a breed, the automotive equivalent of a dodo bird. While everyone else was putting roofs on cars, Willys was still making vehicles where rain meant you got wet. Innovation isn't always moving forward. Number 59. Brooke Stevens designed the Jeepster to compete with sports cars because someone thought Jeep needed to be sexy. A designer looked at utilitarian military vehicles and thought, what if these but make them seductive? It's like trying to make work boots into high heels. Not everything needs a sporty variant, but the 1940s hadn't figured that out yet. Number 60. Late 1940s. Jeep trucks had four-wheel drive before Chevy or Ford offered it. By about 12 years, the big American truck brands were a decade behind Jeep in putting power to all four wheels. While Ford and Chevy were making farm vehicles that got stuck in moderate mud, Jeep trucks were climbing mountains. Sometimes the small guy really does innovate faster. Number 61. The 7-slot grill originally had 13 slots on early prototypes. Apparently someone thought less was more. They literally removed 6 slots and created an icon. That's like if McDonald's had started with 13 arches and said, you know what, let's just do 2. Sometimes the path to legendary design is subtractive, not additive. Fewer slots, more recognition. Number 62. Early Jeep grills were welded flat iron slats. Ford's stamped grill was lighter and cheaper, so naturally everyone copied it. The most recognizable automotive face in history was designed for cost-cutting. That iconic 7-slot grill exists because it was cheaper to produce. Form following function, following budget constraints. The true American design philosophy. Number 63. The words, "Since 1941, appear in hidden spots throughout modern Jeeps. Because brand loyalty should be subliminal. They're literally programming date-based propaganda into their vehicles. It's like if your toaster had "making toast since 1952" hidden under the crumb tray. Most brands put their founding date on their website. Jeep engraves it, where only mechanics will see it. Number 64. Side rails on many models say "no step," like military aircraft. Because Jeep thinks it's a plane, they literally put aviation warnings on their cars. That's like putting "do not dive" on the hood of your sedan. Most car manufacturers assume you know not to stand on random parts. Jeep owners apparently need written instructions to avoid using their vehicles as stepladders. Number 65. The infotainment startup sequence shows a vintage Willys MB. Your morning commute begins with a history lesson. Every time you start your $50,000 luxury SUV, it reminds you it used to be a bare metal war machine. It's like if your iPhone showed a telegraph machine every time you turned it on. Most brands evolve. Jeep just keeps reminding you what it used to be. Number 66. Some models have a vintage Willys silhouette climbing a hill in the windshield corner, because inspiration should be literally in your face. They put motivational posters directly in your line of sight while driving. It's like having a tiny cheerleader permanently embedded in your field of vision. You can climb that mall parking curb. Your great-grandfather stormed Normandy. Number 67. The Cherokee has map coordinates carved under the passenger seat, pointing to Moab, in case you forget where adventure lives. They literally hide treasure maps in their vehicles. It's automotive geocaching for people who buy off-road vehicles and never leave pavement. Your SUV has directions to Utah under your butt. You'll never use them, but they're there. Number 68. Cherokee taillights have spiderweb designs. Because, apparently, arachnids are a recurring theme. Someone in the design department has a serious thing for 8-legged creatures. Most car companies worry about elegant lighting signatures. Jeep's over here embedding arthropods into their brake lights. It's either brilliant brand differentiation or a designer with a spider fixation. Number 69. The Cherokee center console hides a tiny grill, because brand consistency extends to cup holders. They literally put a grill inside your car in case you forget what the front of your car looks like. It's automotive inception. A grill within a vehicle with a grill. Most brands put their logo on the steering wheel. Jeep hides their design signature next to where you put your coffee. Number 70. The 7-slot grill appears in headlights, speakers, and air vents. It's like subliminal messaging for your eyeballs. They've hidden their signature design in literally every opening in the vehicle. It's automotive brainwashing. You're looking at a 7-slot pattern. You're listening through a 7-slot pattern. You're breathing through a 7-slot pattern. Buy another Jeep. Number 71. Some models hide topographical maps of Utah's Moab Desert near the gear shifter. GPS for the spiritually adventurous. They put actual terrain maps next to where you change gears. It's like having a constant reminder that you're driving to the mall when you could be scaling Slick Rock. Most car interiors make you comfortable. Jeep interiors make you feel guilty for not being in Utah. Number 72. Easter eggs started becoming tradition after owners discovered and loved the first one. Customer enthusiasm literally drove design decisions. Hidden features became a selling point. That's like if people bought books because they might contain typos. Most manufacturers fix quirks. Jeep institutionalized them into a treasure hunt that creates brand loyalty. Accidental genius. Number 73. Some models display engineering designations in Morse code because engineers love showing off even in dots and dashes. They literally encrypt vehicle data into obsolete communication methods and hide it in plain sight. It's like hiding your Wi-Fi password in hieroglyphics. Most brands use clear labeling. Jeep makes you learn telegraph code to understand what you're driving. Number 74. Factory inside jokes are hidden in some models, proving that assembly line workers have a sense of humor. The people building your vehicle are literally embedding their comedy into the metal. Your car has Easter eggs that only 5 people in Toledo understand. It's like finding a "Brooks was here" inscription inside your dishwasher. Manufacturing as permanent graffiti. Number 75. Manufacturing area codes are sometimes etched into vehicles. Hometown pride in numerical form. They literally brand postal routing numbers into luxury SUVs. It's like tattooing your zip code on your arm. Most manufacturers try to hide where things are made. Jeep celebrates it by permanently marking vehicles with geographic metadata that means nothing to 99% of owners. Number 76. The Renegade's X-shaped taillights reference gas cans strapped to WS2 Willys. Because everything old is new again. They designed modern LED lighting to look like emergency fuel containers from 80 years ago. It's automotive nostalgia on a molecular level. Most car designs reference the future. Jeep's over here making taillights shaped like jerry cans from D-Day. Different priorities. Number 77. Some models have mud splatter designs on the tachometer, because dirt is a feature, not a bug. They literally designed their gauges to look permanently dirty. It's like pre-ripped jeans, but for your dashboard. Most luxury vehicles aim for clean elegance. Jeep intentionally makes their instrumentation look like it needs cleaning. Off-road aesthetic for mall parking lots. Number 78. The VP of Interior Design's paintball goggle marks inspired actual Easter eggs. Management's hobbies become customer features. Some executive got shot in the face during company recreation and turned it into a product design element. That's like Apple putting Tim Cook's coffee stains on their products. Most companies separate work and play. Jeep turns workplace injuries into brand identity. Number 79. Santoro said Easter eggs come from people who are passionate about the product. Love literally gets molded into metal. Designers are embedding their enthusiasm into physical form. It's like artisanal Easter eggs, but for mass production. Most manufacturers focus on efficiency. Jeep lets designers hide love notes to owners throughout the vehicle. Industrial manufacturing meets personal craftsmanship. Number 80. Santoro wanted to make Jeeps more of a Jeep with his hidden signatures. Redundancy as a design philosophy. He literally thought vehicles weren't Jeep enough, so he added more Jeepness in secret. That's like adding salt to the ocean. Most designers worry about innovation. This guy was worried his Jeeps weren't Jeepy enough, so he added stealth Jeepness. Number 81. Easter eggs began appearing in 1997, but weren't officially acknowledged until people started finding them. Jeep accidentally created a treasure hunt. They were hiding features for years before realizing it was a marketing goldmine. It's like dropping money around town, then realizing you could call it a scavenger hunt instead of littering. Accidental genius is still genius. Number 82. Not every Jeep has Easter eggs, but almost all models from the last 20 years do. Because mysteries improve with age. They've been hiding tiny surprises in vehicles for 2 decades. It's the longest-running Easter egg hunt in automotive history. Most manufacturers focus on the next model year. Jeep's been playing the same design game since the Clinton administration. Number 83. Finding all Easter eggs can take years. Some owners never discover them all. Imagine buying a $40,000 vehicle and still finding new features half a decade later. It's like automotive archaeology in your own garage. Most car features are in the owner's manual. Jeep owners are crawling under their vehicles with flashlights looking for hidden dinosaurs. Different ownership experience. Number 84. Easter eggs appear on edges of windshields, headlights, hoods, roofs, and even gas pedals, basically everywhere except the owner's manual. They hide surprises literally everywhere except the one place you're supposed to learn about your vehicle. It's like hiding birthday presents in every room of the house except the one with the birthday party. Most brands explain features. Jeep makes you hunt. Number 85. The annual Moab Easter Jeep Safari event influenced the Easter egg tradition because everything leads back to Utah. They named hidden vehicle features after an off-road event in a desert that influenced the hiding of features referencing the desert where the event is held. It's automotive inception again. Most brands have straightforward inspirations. Jeeps are as twisted as Moab's trails. Number 86. Jeep reveals new concept vehicles at the Moab Easter Jeep Safari, where Easter eggs meet actual eggs. They literally debut vehicles with hidden Easter eggs at an event called Easter Safari. The meta levels are off the charts. It's like having a surprise party at a surprise party planning convention. Most brands do reveals at auto shows. Jeep does them in the middle of the desert. Number 87. Easter eggs fall into 3 categories: historical homage, outdoor themes, and manufacturing references. Because organization matters even in whimsy, they have an actual taxonomy for their hidden vehicle features. That's corporate America for you. Even spontaneous fun needs proper categorization. Most brands have marketing departments. Jeep has Easter egg classification systems. Number 88. Some Easter eggs reference cryptids like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. Because legendary vehicles need legendary creatures. They're hiding mythical beasts throughout a very real machine. It's like automotive fantasy fiction. Most manufacturers stick to reality. Jeep's embedding Sasquatches and sea monsters into production vehicles. Who says engineering can't be whimsical? Number 89. Jeep designers hide a 7-bar grille design in the cowl where air enters the interior. Function disguised as form. They literally make the air intake look like the front of the car. It's grilleception yet again. Jeeps breathing through tiny Jeep faces. Most brands separate aesthetics from engineering. Jeep makes the functional parts look like the decorative parts. Number 90. The first documented use of Jeep was a 1941 Washington Daily News article. Journalism made the name official. A reporter casually nicknamed a military vehicle and accidentally created one of the most valuable automotive brands in history. That's like if some random blogger named Tesla. Most brand names come from marketing departments. This one came from a newspaper. Only 11 more facts to go. Number 91. Ford's GPW designation added the W for Willys when they produced the final version. Giving credit where credit was due, Ford literally put their competitor's initial in their own product code. That's like if iPhone had a S for Samsung in its model number. Corporate courtesy in the 1940s hit different. Most competitors tried to erase each other. These two immortalized their partnership in steel. Number 92. Bantam, Willys, and Ford all claimed rights to the Jeep name in 1943, the first automotive trademark war. Three companies were fighting over who owned a name that came from a comic strip character. It's like if Tesla, Ford, and Toyota went to court over who gets to call their car SpongeBob. Sometimes the most valuable brands come from the silliest origins. Number 93. Some military mechanics called new test vehicles Jeeps before W appeared. The name was slang before it was official. The most iconic American automotive brand started as military mechanic jargon. That's like if whatchamacallit became a Fortune 500 company. Most brands are carefully crafted by marketing teams. This one evolved organically from soldiers trying to describe weird new vehicles. Number 94. General George Lynch supposedly yelled, "Jeepers!" during a bouncy test drive. Profanity as brand origin story. A high-ranking officer's G-rated expletive potentially named a vehicle brand. That's like naming a sports car after someone yelling, "Golly!" during a test drive. Most brand names come from focus groups. This one might have come from a general avoiding actual cursing. Number 95. Jeep might be an acronym for Just Enough Essential Parts. Minimalism as a marketing strategy. The name could literally mean, "We removed everything unnecessary." It's industrial design philosophy as branding. Most manufacturers add features. Jeep's name could literally celebrate having fewer parts. Somehow, they turned bare minimum into a premium selling point. Number 96. Another theory suggests Jeep came from cheap, because budget consciousness builds character. The most famous off-road brand might be named after its low price point. That's like if Rolex was originally named affordable. Most luxury brands hide humble origins. Jeep might have accidentally immortalized its bargain basement beginnings in its very name. Number 97. Arnold Schwarzenegger's 1984 Cherokee sold for $85,000. Proving that celebrity ownership adds serious value. A vehicle worth maybe $10,000 sold for 8 times its value because the Terminator owned it. That's like paying $40 for a coffee mug because a famous person once drank from it. Most used cars depreciate. Famous people's Jeeps appreciate like fine art. Number 98. Chris Brown was the first celebrity to order a Rizvani Beast sports car, but still loves his custom Wranglers. Apparently speed needs variety. A man who owns a 500 horsepower supercar still chooses to drive a box-shaped vehicle with the aerodynamics of a brick. That's like owning a private jet, but preferring to travel by tractor. Some vehicles transcend rational vehicle choices. Number 99. NBA player Carlos Boozer owns 2 custom Wranglers with 0 doors, because millionaires don't need weather protection. A professional athlete making millions removed the most basic safety feature from his vehicles. It's like buying a house and removing the walls. Most luxury vehicles add features. Rich Jeep owners pay extra to have things removed. Number 100. The Wrangler's windshield still folds down like its WU2 ancestors. Some traditions are worth preserving. The vehicle has evolved for 80 years, but they kept the ability to fold the glass flat against the hood. It's like if your iPhone could still send telegraph messages. Most manufacturers eliminate outdated features. Jeep preserves them as selling points. Number 101. You can remove Wrangler doors and store them in your garage. Freedom has a storage solution. The only modern production vehicle where taking the doors off is a feature, not a theft. It's like if your refrigerator came with instructions for removing the door. Most vehicles try to keep components permanently attached. Jeep encourages you to disassemble yours for fun. Make sure you subscribe so you can vote on which automotive brand I choose next.